This war stops now.
You are tired of the war. I can see on your face.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
Let's stop! Listen to me! Stop!
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
Are you ready for a war?
I know you can fight, but it's our wits that make us men.
You want a war you can't win?
Help me. In the name of Christ, help yourselves. Unite us. Unite the clans. Don't push it. Don't push it, I'll give you a war you won't believe. Let it go.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast.
I'm back, baby!
So this is episode number 1. Now if you've seen this face before, I'm now solo in studio. So we're getting our fresh start. We're doing a new format. I did, however, want to stick to, similar to the first episode, I want to explain what spawned me to record myself and post my thoughts to the internet, exposing myself to God knows what kind of harassment. So it was a Friday, and I heard a song, a viral hit, talked about on a podcast I listened to. So it just caught me, and I listened to that song about 25 times that night, and y'all may remember.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay,
So we'll play the whole song through towards the end, but I want to go through the journey. So before that came out, it was released on Radio WV, a YouTube channel that has some amazing musicians on it, similar style, a man, an instrument, and his voice. And not all just men, but this was released. We'll watch a little bit of this on his YouTube channel, Oliver Anthony, which isn't his real name, which we'll find out later.
Well, hey, it's August the 7th, 2023, and as of this recording, tomorrow on Tuesday, Radio WV is going to upload the debut of Richmond North of Richmond. And it's going to be the first song to get out there that's been recorded on a real microphone and a real camera, and not just on my cell phone. And Lord willing, it's going to get some traffic, and maybe at least a few of you are going to drift your way over here. And I thought I'd have kind of an introduction video on what it is I'm aiming to do here.
So, and that's why I'm doing this.
So,
is really this video inspired this video.
I've been playing a long time and singing. I really started to write my own music back in 2021. Things were obviously not good for a lot of people, and in some respects I was one of those people. And I had wasted a lot of nights getting high and getting drunk, and I had sort of gotten to a point in my life where even things that I did care about didn't mean anything to me anymore. And this is certainly no Dr. Phil episode, but I found an outlet in this music, and I started uploading a couple songs, and Ain't Got a Dollar I uploaded spring of last year, and then Rich Man's Gold, Cobwebs and Cocaine.
So after listening to the song nonstop Friday night and Saturday, YouTube thought, hey, you like this song, you probably ought to check these out. So reaction videos of Oliver Anthony's song. Now, I didn't know what reaction videos were. That had never come over in my YouTube channel. I'd never seen anything like that. And I started watching, and I was just captivated. And I watched one after another and over again. And what caught me and what changed me was the synchronicity of it. No matter who was watching or listening to the song, man or woman, whether the color of their skin or where in the world they were from, generally all the people were reacting at the same point to the song in the same manner. And that's when it struck me. If a song can make us feel all of us the same way, why are we fighting so much? Why are we listening to the screens? They tell us we don't like each other, but how can we not like each other when we're just like each other? So that's why I wanted to do my best attempt at putting a podcast out there. I'm going to say some funny stuff. I'm going to talk about some serious things, some current events. But we have more in common than we like to believe, and that's what I like to focus on. There are some cultural issues that I don't want to touch in this show. There are other podcasts for that. That's just not the angle I want to come at. I would like to focus on what we can agree upon. I'm definitely coming at it from a certain angle, and you'll figure that out over time. So, Oliver Anthony, blowing up, he already had that coming weekend, so let's go on Friday, that coming Sunday, I believe it was, had a performance scheduled at a little farmer's market. And he blew up and
Y'all
became incredibly famous.
Sit out here in the heat like this and listen to a couple of
Hey, we came here for you.
We really do love.
So he's performing this song. People apparently flew in from around the country. I just seen the guy from Yellowstone, Luke Grimes, flew in to see him. He wasn't alone in that. And this struck me here, coming up. Listening to the crowd.
Where's politicians? Look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and they owe these milk and welfare. My God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes all not paid. When your bags are full drowned, men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground. 'Cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down.
Right there. That hit me right there. That hit me. The Richmond, north of Richmond, are keeping us down. And they're keeping us fighting, and it doesn't have to be that way. The next Monday, Rolling Stones right on top of it, right-wing influencers just found their favorite new country song. Let's put them in a box. And yes, a right-wing influencer is how I came across the song. But they immediately went there. They didn't just they had to put him in a category. Was he a friend or foe? He couldn't have just been a guy singing. So after this concert, I believe this is the video of him coming back. Yes, it is.
I'm driving back home. I had crazy time in Currituck. I always have fun in Currituck. Whether it's 30 people or it's 12,000 people, the Morris Farm Market is just, there's nothing else like it. So thanks to them for putting it on. Thanks to all of y'all for coming out. There were people who flew in, people that drove down from up north. Mind blown. And I mean, hell, we signed and took pictures a good 4 hours after the show. And it wasn't like people just came up and shook my hand. They come up and they told me about the battles they've been dealing with, depression and suicide and money, and you know, those are real problems. this song is not something that it's not like it's some masterpiece I've created. It's the masterpiece and the emotions of the song. It already exists within you. Sometimes it just takes the right song coming along to let those out. But my question to you is, when Oliver Anthony's long gone and forgotten about, what can you do in your own life to maintain this energy, this positivity, this unity that I see among people like I've never seen before? What are the next steps to make life better for people? What can you do for your neighbor? There used to be such a strong sense of community in this country. And you still see it a lot in small town America, but even there it's dying out. Things just change too quickly these days, you know?
So the song just kept, I mean, it was averaging over 2 million views a day on YouTube. It was number one on iTunes and other platforms, page iTunes. I don't know if it's Spotify. And then we got to see this. So a couple weeks go by, the song's blowing up. Over 2 million
Even though Trump
views a
skipped
day.
last night's Republican primary debate, his presence was still felt. The event also opened up with a nod to a breakout country song from Virginia. The first question asked of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was respond to the popularity of Richmond, north of Richmond, by Farmville singer Oliver Anthony. The candidate said it's because the country is in decline.
We must reverse Bidenomics so that middle-class families have a chance to succeed again. We cannot succeed as a country if you are working hard and you can't afford groceries, a car, or a new home.
The viral song, hailed as a working-class anthem, topped the Billboard 100 chart almost.
Then after that, Oliver Anthony had this to say.
Well, hey there. It's August 25th, 2023. A lot's changed since the last time I sat here and spoke to you. My friends and family have asked me how I'm doing. Everybody is wondering if I've lost my sanity yet, and I'm surprisingly calm and at peace. I don't even know what to say, but I feel thankful to be given this opportunity. The music side is exciting, and all the Billboard, iTunes charts, and all that crap. That's great, but the exciting part's been the conversations I've had with people, and the things I've learned just in a couple weeks about the human spirit. And about all sorts of other things, the music industry, and how dirty everything is. Like, it's worse than you think. So I don't know what the future looks like for me. I'm not really too concerned about the future. I'm living in the present, and I just have to have the discernment to make the right decisions from here on out, because I think about that guy who was sitting here a few weeks ago talking to you, and the most important thing to me is not leaving him behind. I don't want to go on some roller coaster ride and come off a different person. If there is anything for me to address at all with you, it's that it's the one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. I'm disappointed to see, like, it's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody, and I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. But it seems like certain people want to just ride the attention of this song to maybe make them their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The other thing that I find aggravating is, well, you know, like, it was funny seeing my song in the, it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate, because it's like, I wrote that song about those people, you know? So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden.
And so after this video, he was attacked by the right. So the podcasters kind of soured on him because he did approve of the song being played at the RNC, and then he was attacked because, like, oh, he's a hypocrite. It's like, well, no, the point's not different at all. It's funny. I mean, to make these people ask this question, and it's just ridiculous because we just had our fourth debate, I believe, and Oliver Anthony wasn't part of the discussion. Didn't make it on. That's how quickly we move on as a country. And I do want to keep the mindset going, though. That's why I'm here. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're persisting. So then he popped up on where I kind of assumed he would if he popped up anywhere, and he did Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan apparently had been kind of in contact with him. So at that first show that he was at the farm market, Jamie Johnson, indie country guy, like outlaw country, apparently had been done wrong by the music industry himself, and that's why he was independent in the manner he was. And Oliver Anthony, Chris, looked up to him, and he was there from the beginning. And also, apparently, Joe Rogan had reached out early on, and I think that Joe Rogan may have been part of the tweeting thing that kind of blew him up in the first place. But the Oliver Anthony, if you've been watching Joe Rogan for long, he's been very hostile to religion generally and insulting to Christians. And over time, he's been softening his stance, not to the level in which I would like, but Oliver Anthony, who is a born-again Christian in the truest sense, if everything he says is true. So he says this on Joe Rogan and to Joe Rogan and his millions of listeners.
I kind of had this breakdown moment and decided that I was going to let whatever ego I had go, and just at this point it's like I knew I didn't have much left in for me anyway, and I wanted to serve whatever purpose it was that I was here to serve. It's like you get this just overwhelming feeling in you. I was just crying like a baby, just this very like warm feeling throughout me, and that really hasn't gone away since. Like I'm not the guy that can play in front of 12,000 people on guitar. I would be like, I mean, I had never played a paid gig. When we played the show at the farm market where Jamie Johnson showed up, that was my first paid gig. Like, I'm not a guy to go out and play live shows, but I can tell you I was so like, I was just so at peace being up there. Like, it just felt like that's where I was supposed to be. And with all this, it has been like, there's no way that Chris from 6 months ago could handle what's gone on the last 2 weeks, but I feel just so empowered from all of it. And I don't know. I'm telling you, like, again, I'm not anybody special, and I'm certainly not here to preach to anybody, but just from coming from somebody who was just in a really just fucked up place, like, and I use that word like with discretion, but in this case it describes like where I was. Like, that guy found a lot of peace, like, from this book and from
looking at things in a different way.
Yeah.
From looking at things through the eyes of Scripture.
And I think for me, it was like I had been in, I'd been in church growing up, and I'd been exposed to all of that, but I'd found a lot of theatrics and a lot of politics in church and in religion when I was younger, and so it just immediately turned me off to it.
So if you can, take us to like what was like the day you picked it up. What was the feeling that you had? Like what caused you to act? What was it like when you did it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd been reading it here and there, off and on, and I had for like off and on for a long time, like because I was introduced to it as a kid, but it was really just like, I remember I went to the ER for everything that was going on. I mean, I thought I was seriously going to die. Like I was having shooting pains up under my jaw, down in my wrist and my leg, like just cardiovascular 101 symptoms. Of course, I'm 31. I had been like, I could run 4 miles without stopping, no problem. So like I knew my heart was strong, but I just
freaking out.
Yeah, but I went and did that, and I remember being in the truck after that, just like, and I just had a breakdown moment. I was just crying and was just. I just felt hopeless, like almost the way a child feels hopeless when they, like you can't find your parent or something, like a 4-year-old that can't find his parents or something. I was just like, just didn't have anything left in me, and I don't know. I just decided, like right then and there, I was like, I know I can't do this anymore, but I know that I can. I know there's things that I need to do, and I was just told God, I was like, just let me do it, like, and I'll give all this shit up. I'll give up the weed, and I'll quit getting drunk, and I'll quit being so angry about things, and I'll just like. I'll just call it good. Whatever I've done up from up until I was 30 or whatever, 31, like we'll just call that good, and I'll start over again. And I
feel like something's happening here, because I mean, Rogan is a weed enthusiast, DMT enthusiast. I mean, he doesn't really talk about it anymore, but he certainly used to. And he's, appreciates good alcohol. And he doesn't like jump in. He's showing Oliver a great amount of respect there. I mean, past Joe Rogan might have to interject with, say, oh, well, I mean, it's not so bad if you can control yourself, or something to that effect.
It became the focus and not me, and I just tried to let my ego and everything that I was, just let that go and just focus on, because obviously, like, it's not just me. I've seen it with even other people I know, and I see it with celebrities and everything, but I don't know, I just feel like we're in such a weird place right now in the world that I feel like God's working inadvertently through certain people to get his point across.
So take me to what you did. Did you start reading the Bible? Like, what did you do?
I just changed my perspective.
You changed.
I quit worrying about me, and I started worrying about what it is that I'm supposed to do. Like it talks in the Bible about being a servant, and giving up, I guess, my desire and my will and whatever it is that I want to do. Like, I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's about trying to use what I have as a tool versus doing what I can in the moment to give myself whatever satisfaction that it is I'm trying to get. It's about trying to let go of your ego, I guess, in a way. And I mean, people pursue that mentality without faith. I mean, it's the idea of there being something bigger than you. But I think inherently all human beings idolize something. Like, it talks in the Bible about false idols. We all have false idols, like whether it's our phone or it's a celebrity or it's something we do or it's our addiction to food or drugs or whatever. But like, it's very difficult for a human to be the biggest thing on their hierarchy. There's always something above us, right? Because we're always in pursuit of something bigger than whatever it is in that moment. And I think for me, it was just about taking everything else, all the distractions and all the other things in my life away, and just ensuring that at least, and look, we're all we all sin and we all do stupid things. Like, we're all just people. Nobody's special or righteous. People sometimes act like they're special and righteous, but we're all just the same thing. Like, but it's just about trying to make that my idol. Make God and the concept of what it is that He wants done on this earth my idol versus anything else. You know, like we all serve some master, whether we realize it or not. So why not let it be the master that is above all?
And so when you made this transformation in your mind, did you then start reading scripture like regularly? Like, what did you start doing?
Yeah, well,
that was different.
Well, what really, I guess it's like now I don't read it. I don't read it because I feel like I should read it to be a better person. It's like now I try to read it for the guidance within it. And I'm still in the infancy stages of a lot of this. Like, I've read a lot of Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes, and Luke, and there's other good books. But just trying to, I don't know, like trying to restructure, I guess, on a granular level. Like, I guess the neural pathways in my brain that have certain habits and certain ways of thought. Like, I've tried to retrain that to. You know, like there's things it says, like, and I'll be very brief with this, I promise, but like one thing, ironically, it's Proverbs 4:20, which I thought you would like.
Right here.
So if there's anything better,
Perfect.
I think a really monumental moment.
My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. But
that's pretty fucking profound.
But the whole book of Proverbs is like that. Like, it's not preachy. It's not what you think. Like, it's good guidance. It's like good guidance that you would want a father to give to.
I mean, we just heard Oliver Anthony read the Bible to Joe Rogan and tens of millions of his listeners. And I think a lot of people can identify with what he said. Churches are really good at turning people off. And this is not an original thought by myself, but if you hear a cover band play a bad version of a good song, that doesn't make the song bad. And that's what we have. Oftentimes it goes on in churches. And Oliver Anthony's giving great testimony. That was great, and then shortly thereafter, I assumed that was it. I kind of felt that that's the last we're going to see of Oliver Anthony. He's going to sail off and play music, drop songs on YouTube here and there, and maybe, he'll pop up every so often. Then he went on Jordan Peterson. He interviewed Jordan Peterson.
I've had people say that I'm a fence sitter and that I need to have some sort of call to action. And I guess, like, if there's anything that I would respond to that with, given the opportunity we have now, it's like, I think we need to take a step back and re-envision what we want the next 20 or 30 years to look like. And there's an important verse that came to mind. A Pharisee asked Jesus, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" And Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is love your neighbor as yourself." Like, as simple as that is, if we could just find a way to make those two commandments, even outside of religious boundaries, if we could learn to make that our priority and then base our differences below that, like, God is here, our love for each other here, and then below that is try to find a way to integrate our differences in a way that everyone can live a better life.
So that kind of thought is really dominating my thinking lately, and we can do so much better. So, and we haven't heard from Oliver Anthony since. I did see that he's going to be performing next summer, a couple of hours from where I live, and I'm going to almost certainly go and see him, and I probably will shake his hand. I will probably, hopefully, tell him about this podcast. Hopefully it's something to be proud of at that point. And so we're going to go back to the beginning. to the song. Okay, so let's go and I'm gonna not do a reaction to it because like I said I've heard the song hundreds of times at this point. We're gonna break this sucker down because he said it's not a masterpiece. It's beyond a masterpiece. When a song is not only brilliant, beautiful, but can unite, when it delivers a message far beyond the lyrics, it's something. It's something different. It's beyond a masterpiece. So let's listen to this.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is.
So most people, I mean, most of the reaction videos within that first few seconds of the song are like, what am I hearing? And look at his face. That you can see the micro expressions and pushing the words out. This is a man that has something to say and cares. Like was striking to many reaction videos and brought out a good point that he starts singing from the out right of the gate. No little melody beforehand. Showing he has something to say. This is a fed up man.
Oh, it is
Life.
living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end.
So we're a minute in, and now we get it. Like this isn't just he's gonna complain about overtime and his dog's dying and his truck broke down, his girlfriend left him. This man has some real shit to say.
Cause the rich men, cause the rich men. I wish politicians look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere.
Now most people got it. Okay, so watch the reaction videos. I mean, that's obviously a stunner of a line. He said it. He said what we've all been thinking, referring to the island out there, that the people who have significant influence over our lives, many of them visit it on a regular basis. Now, if it went right over their head, and like maybe less than 10% did, at that point I turned it off. I was like, if you're that out of the zeitgeist, it's not going to land for you.
Politicians look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere.
So, and a lot of people commented that like, oh, like wow, that double entendre, that's brilliant. The minor, the mine getting cold, and then obviously underage, mostly girls, as far as we know, hanging out on that island. Now, but is it? Because like you could also say it's a triple entendre because does our country look out for minors? People, are they really looking out for them? With how they're being educated, with what they're being exposed to? The influences that before there would be a barrier, and now it's anything can get to a child, and that's what we see. So it's really, it's a triple entendre. It is brilliant.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does does is keep on kicking them down.
Look at his face. Go back. I screwed that up.
Does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you.
The Fudge Round lines I love, but that has been the biggest criticism of the song, so I kind of wish he didn't. I wish he would have put it in a different way, just because that would be it's the only detraction. And I don't really care because it's true. But delivering that line is so great. And then, yes, that's the point. There are so many people against us. The system, there's not systematic racism, there's systematic humanism. It's against us all.
I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in a new world with an whole soul. These rich men know the rich men, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and then I don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men know the rich men.
Stop them.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
So there's a brilliant. So he says, just ending the song just the way it began. That is why there's some kind of almost hypnotic way about that just like it gets you primed just to listen over and over and over again. But anyway, Oliver Anthony, that's why I'm here. I want to try to get people, I want to unite people. I want us to work towards the common good. To close, I am a Christian. I say that because that's what I believe. That's how I see the world. If that upsets you, no, you're not watching anymore. So now I've noticed a lot of people on the right, conservatives. Since I've gotten heavily involved in Twitter to try to build up my brand so I can promote this. I've noticed a lot of these people proclaiming the name of Jesus Christ or posting their social media profiles with crosses. That's great. But the attacks against Israel, Jewish organizations, and Jewish people usually follow. Now that is using the Lord's name in vain. I don't feel the need to proclaim my faith before I critique any other country or a divisive activist organization or a specific religion that I don't believe in. So we need to be wary. If you think like if you're a Christian and you vote that way, you take it seriously. We need to be on the lookout for that. We got to be mindful. We cannot fall into that trap. You're free to criticize, hopefully through the lens of the path of Jesus. But don't do it with hate in your heart. And don't use it as an excuse to trash people. That it makes me very uncomfortable. I do not like where it's going, and I wish we'd have more people speaking out about it. So I'm starting. Hopefully somebody will hear this message, and I will see you soon. To close, love one another. What Oliver Anthony was speaking about. we must love one another. That's it. There's no other way about it, especially if you say you're a Christian. That is the commandment. And if you're not a Christian, why would you want to treat people any other way? You'll sleep better. So until next time, thanks for watching the Stop and Listen podcast. I am your host, James Jost. I'll see you next time.